gotta wash after all my backgammon playing.
I know, you dirty Asian. dirty Asian.
Scamming those grandmas at the badminton park. Hey, Will, let's go.
Let's do this.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to Matt Kim Podcast with my host, Peter Saddington.
Free thinking army.
We are live today, which is so sick because we haven't done this live in a long ass time.
Yeah. This is fun, man. It's good to see you guys. Smash the like button. Make sure that you join the Discord as well as the Telegram and let everybody know that you're watching the Free Thinker Army, guys. We have a new show for you. We're launching the Pooflinger coin.
the Pooflinger coin to the moon.
To the moon. Guys, the Pooflinger.
Just kidding. Not financial advice. Don't do that shit. Someone's out there on Pumped Up Phone going, Pooflinger.
Where's the Pooflingers? Where's the Pooflingers?
Don't do it. 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 We will let you know.
Yep.
And I saw a lot of people ask, when is the Dr. Shiva interview going to come out?
Dr. Shiva seems to be a very aggressive communicator.
He went hard in the paint.
Ooh.
And the only issue with that is if we put it up as is, it would get taken down in 20 minutes. It may not even last 20 minutes.
To be frank, it would probably get taken down before you even put the publish button.
Correct.
Because the bots, once you upload, the bots are reading everything.
Yeah, once it goes to the analyze and the kind of when they crawl the episode, then there's a good chance, very high probability that one will get taken down. So what we're going to do is we're going to sanitize it, try to scrub out some of the words that you can't say because I want to get it out there, but there's no point in getting it out there if it doesn't make it to publish. It is what it is. I mean, we're not going to cut out content, but we're going to maybe bleep out words, whatever, because the definitions of things you can and cannot say change on a regular basis. And for sure, I know some of the things he says, we are not allowed to put on YouTube.
Dr. Shiva, let's just say that...
He went hard.
Let's just say that he calls out the individuals that you guys all know that generally have, let's say, thin skin. Yeah? Is that a good way of saying it? They have thin skin.
Small hats and thin skin.
Well, you can be a bad guy, but if you call the bad guy a bad guy to his face, he kind of doesn't like it. And at that point, he strikes you as he, shrinks away in fear, right? That's the whole idea.
Hey, Will, if you can go through and maybe put up a few comments that we can reply to or talk, answer, whatever it is. Will, if you can do that, we got producer Will. Hold on, what is it? Great work, guys. You directly give me a different and sometimes confirms I'm not the only one who thinks the same thing. It's true. I think the real purpose and I think the value of what we do is that it lets people who question the reality around them, question the narrative of pretty much everything, makes them feel like they're not alone, that you're not the only one, because the reality is there are a lot of people in the world that are questioning the realities around them everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually probably the majority. Most people don't even realize we're the majority. And having a show like this or bringing people together makes you realize that, number one, you're not alone. Number two, you're not fucking crazy. And number three, you're allowed to have these conversations because we all have these conversations at home. Why can't you have them publicly? That's the craziest, weirdest thing ever.
So wait, you're saying that the vast majority of people are questioning the narrative just like us? The only difference is they don't have two mics and they're not willing to talk about it in public? Are you telling me, Matt, that what we are discussing is relatively normative conversations behind closed doors?
It took us 2 years to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Most people will do it online, and within the 2-year period, they'll either A, sell out, or 2, kiss the wall, or 3, just comply with the overlords because they don't want to give up what they've done in the past 2 years.
Or 4th, just give up.
Or give up. You have to push through.
Oh, we got a donation. Definitely got to shout that out. Thank you for that. Abu Ali says, "May God bless the dust where you guys walk. Keep going, kings." Thank you, Abu. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Heart goes out to you, brother. Just like that. Appreciate it. Much love.
They say, please bring Arthur Kwan Lee on the show. I had Arthur on the show, I think, very early on in the podcast days.
I vaguely remember that.
That was maybe a year and a half ago. This is before he went full Droiper.
Well, we used the words before. He goes hard in the paint.
This was before he went as hard as he did.
He has little restraint around the things that he's willing to vocalize.
So Arthur is a very good friend of the show, very good friend of mine. I think Arthur is awesome. I love Arthur. He is a warrior at heart and spirit. And we will probably have him on the show again sometime very soon.
We haven't claimed the moniker or claimed the motto, but I would say, for the first time publicly, that Arthur is certainly part of the rooftop Koreans of sorts.
Arthur's a G.
Is a G.
We're big fans of Arthur.
So let me bring up a topic because it's hot on the news. I kind of want to get your opinion on it, Matt, and certainly we'll get to the comments in chat here. But there seems to be a lot of planes that are going down these days.
Yes.
So give me your 2 cents on that. What do you think is going on with these planes? Is this a distraction to the greater narrative and the greater game at play, or is this part of the game?
I find the planes going down really, it's like the most. I don't get it. Because if they wanted to, with all these planes going down, if they're like, hey, we have a terrorist problem in the country and in the world, it's such an easy narrative for them to do.
Yeah.
But they're not. Why? Why are they not taking such a layup opportunity that says, hey, terrorism. They could do it all they want. And the entire world would believe it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
These planes are going down everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not. Why? Why aren't they leaning into something that's pretty much a layup for them? I don't get it.
We've heard comments from, let's just say, influential politicians before that you should never let a crisis go to waste. And previously, when planes go down, man, that's a really great opportune time to, let's say, increase constraints, increase controls, start rolling out some policy that will protect us from these planes going down. But apparently, Matt, with all of these planes crashing, they kind of don't want us to know what's going on. This is odd. Usually they like to leverage these crises as an opportunity to make sure that the news cycle for at least 48 hours is all about it.
Well, we had Eric from the NTSB on, like one of the very first episodes ever done.
That's right. For those out there, who is this guy?
It's a good friend of ours. He is a NTSB agent that investigates fatal plane crashes.
Yes.
It's the only thing he does. Unless people die, he doesn't investigate.
Yep.
So a plane goes down, people die, then he investigates. There's only like 2 or 3 of them in the country.
I feel like he was like your third interview from our old pod.
And he was like, look, like these investigations take years. So after day 1, you only get the real information for like 2 or 3 years later because it takes so long to go through all the wreckage, to like break it apart. So by the time people figure out what the real deal is, like nobody cares anymore.
They've moved on.
I think that's what it is.
But what you're also insinuating, though, that even though it takes a couple years to actually comb through the evidence, comb through the scene of the crime, but it takes 2 years to do that. But however, within the same breath, they can also tell us that the passports have always survived within the first couple days.
Bulletproof, fireproof passports. That paper is amazing. Dude, I don't know why we don't write more stuff on that paper. Can we get that? Can we buy passport paper anywhere?
I think we need to look that up because apparently passport paper is indestructible.
Like, how amazing would that be? I'm just going to get a reel of that passport paper, and then I'm just going to, like, make a shirt out of it.
Man, I have a great
Bulletproof?
I have a great idea.
You know what I mean?
I have a great idea.
Every time I go in the hood, I'm just going to wear my passport t-shirt.
Seriously.
My passport hoodie.
It's like better than the flame retardant suits that you pay $1,500 for racing. I would know, right? Why pay $1,500 for a race suit when you can just buy passport paper? It's burn proof.
That could become a thing. Passport hoodies. I will totally rock a passport hoodie.
I just had an amazing.
That will be the #1 thing on our official merch store.
I just had an
the
amazing
passport hoodie.
Bitcoin
that
scam.
says poo flinger on it.
Poo flingers.
The poo flinger passport hoodie.
We got Wolverine. Go make the poo flinger. We know you're out there, Wolverine. Go make the poo flinger passport T-shirt.
Hoodie. Because you got to cover your head.
Exactly. You got to cover your head. I just thought of the best Bitcoin scam. The best Bitcoin scam is save your seed phrase on passport paper. That way it'll never be destroyed.
Dude, I have a hardware wallet I can't get into.
Do you have Bitcoin in there?
Yeah.
Where's that?
I can't figure out how to get into it. I can't reset it. I can't get the thing. The seed phrases aren't like working properly. I don't know. It's just the whole thing is like broken.
Your seed phrase should be somewhere.
It is.
Where is it?
It doesn't work.
The seed phrase you wrote down doesn't work to get in.
It doesn't work to get in.
All right. Well, this guy's regarded. So I'll help you after.
It's like a treasure from
a treasure.
Yeah.
You might need to upgrade the BIOS, the firmware.
Yeah, but it won't let me do it. it's like stuck in this infinite death loop.
You're so regarded.
Dude,
Gosh dang.
whoever thought putting like crypto on hard wallets 10 years ago was a good idea? It's like the worst idea ever, actually. It's just sitting there.
He's got like hundreds of thousands of dollars on there, guys.
I can't get it. It's like the most frustrating thing ever. I tried the other day. I'm like, dude, I can't get in this.
I like this Yan God. Oh boy, the Chinese philosopher bros are getting questions from the audience. I love it when they. I love it when our.
Not Chinese, Korean.
Yeah, but I like it when they call us Chinese philosophers.
Well, don't call me Chinese.
Oh, sensitive topic, guys. Don't call him Chinese. You can call him Indian. You can call him a pooflinger.
No, don't do that either.
Okay, you can call me Chinese or Indian. I'll accept it because my heart goes out to you guys.
Can you do the following live? Search for any media company, then search for parent company or parent company CEO. People know how bad it is.
Well, I mean, Kanye did that on live when he had a reporter talking to him, and he busts up his phone. He's like, "Look at this phone. You see all those red squares? Those are all the media companies owned by the tiny hats." I think there's plenty of video evidence out there, my friends, that the tiny hats pretty much control everything, and they make decisions and policies and procedures and rules and regulations based on their religious worldview and religious doctrines. So you just have to live in it. That's how it works, friends. That's how it works.
Do you guys get a lot of hate or backlash for saying the truth? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Inbox is full.
Inbox is full, guys.
Full.
Holy
attorneys, lawyers, different types of people, different professionals, finance people, even people that follow or watch. Like, I can't believe you said that. Dude, eat a dick.
Yeah.
You know,
I got actually, if you go to my X right now and you scroll down, you can see a lot of the emails that I've gotten just last week because I posted them online because they're so hilarious, because I talked about Trump and I talked about some of Trump's good business deals, and people called me crazy, they called me insane, they called me a gook, they told me to get out of here. Like, if we wanted to open up and be transparent about our DMs and our emails, guys, you would not be surprised at the amount of pooflinging that we get. Oh, we got a donation. Thank you.
People who notice deserve to get paid for it. Thank you, sir. Okay, I got a question. What is the NOK currency?
NOK?
Where's that from? Oh, don't be gay. You don't know?
It's not
NOK.
NOK?
What's NOK?
I mean, if Will would help me out, it'd be great.
What's the NOK currency?
I don't know. Do you know?
Of course I know. I'm just testing to see if you know.
I don't know off the top of my head.
North Korean?
Did you really say North Korean? Oh my gosh. What is NOK? It's not. Trust me. 100 NOK is not $100.
They're like, where's the Elon salute,
It's
Peter?
Norwegian krone.
Norwegian krone.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We have people in Norway. Thank you, Norway.
Thank you, Norway.
Hey.
Appreciate you guys.
I got a quick question then. I think we have people from all over the world watch us now.
Yeah.
Our show has
shout us
gone
out.
like super global.
Shout out. Where are you from, bro? Where are you guys from?
Drop a comment. Let me know where you guys are from and where in the world you're from. If you're in the States, tell us what state. If you're in a different country, I don't know the difference between states and countries, so tell us which country.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool because as you watch the chat, you get to see like, dude, like my neighbor's in here. That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Actually, my neighbor watches too, which is really funny.
Karen?
No, not that one. She doesn't watch me. If she watched me, she'd
hate watching
She'd
you.
be hate watching the whole time.
Hate watching is the best.
My heart goes out to you guys. There's a lot of hearts going out. Every time you guys say heart go out, I'm gonna give you my love of my heart right like this. It's good. We got Atlanta. We got Silicon Valley. We got Guam, Missouri, Earth, Netherlands. Whoa! It's blowing up. California, UK, Pyongyang. Oh, Pyongyang!
Thank you, dear leader.
Thank you, dear. A pooflinger. We got a pooflinger from India, Sar. Hey, love you, man. I'm
Dude.
sir.
I've been getting messages from this Indian guy in India. He's
Yeah.
like, dude, I've been watching his show. On point. I fucking hate the people here.
And not dancing around, beating around the bush. Thank you, old man. Appreciate you, brother. You are an old man. Much love to the old man.
Thank you.
Brother, thanks for being here. Our heart goes out to you. Postscript PS. It says, you have done many research on the NSA paper to make a mint. There are folks saying that it's being used by banks for private transactions before it officially came out to the masses. You should interview Whitney Webb. We've talked about Whitney Webb a lot.
Well, on the Bitcoin, I've had an opportunity, and we're going to talk to, actually, we're going to do an interview with Mark Karpelis sometime in the near future. And I got an opportunity to talk to a lot of these really OG, like 2010 Bitcoin guys.
Yeah.
One of our friends is King Andrew, who owned the IRC client that Bitcoin was first seeded on. And they believe that it was like a guy. And they have like their theories on who it is. But they believe that Bitcoin was created like in a really organic way. And then that just the CIA took it and they took it over. But they do believe that someone actually made it. Because some of them actually helped with the code and helped write some of it.
So I'll give you my non-professional view, and I've said this publicly before because I'm an engineer, I'm a coder, I went actually through the code, and my short answer is I believe that 3 individuals came up with it, and the reason is because I see 3 different syntaxes and 3 different types of communication style in their notes and in their coding syntax. So for me, I believe that 3 individuals conceived of Bitcoin organically through the cypherpunk networks and through the BBS bulletin board chats. And then it was essentially grown that way. So in my opinion, it's not one person. I think it's 3, mostly because I'm looking at the code and the syntax is different.
I'm a black dude, I'm immigrant. Is that what
His name is Israel Endalk. I'm a black dude immigrant. To get hired DEI. Want to talk shit about AA Americans. Give y'all cover. Thank you, thank you, Israel Dalk. We appreciate you giving us cover fire for all of the work that we're doing so that you can ensure that you get the flack and that we don't.
Oh, okay.
He's covering for us.
He's taking one for the team.
That he's saying I'm a black dude immigrant, so I have the ability to say things that you guys can't.
Oh, he's allowed to say whatever he wants because he checks all the boxes. No, you have to be a disabled, trans, black,
Native American
immigrant, and then you can say whatever you want.
That's right. So
you're like a couple of check boxes off.
Yeah, you need to be
black and immigrant's not enough. You need to be a disabled
lesbian.
No, trans.
Yeah, trans. You need to be a disabled trans.
Disabled trans is like the ultimate cover.
We appreciate
black disabled trans.
We appreciate the good college try. Unfortunately, you don't check all the boxes, sir, from a DEI requirement standpoint. So while we'll take your $20, you need to try a little bit harder.
Thank you. Come again.
Thank you. Come again. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We got Murr, $19. He says, goal. Are we winning? Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, sir.
To what extent do you think hardcore Zionists control the U.S. government as well as other world governments? It's really interesting. I've been looking into the whole history of Zionism and the fact that the Rothschilds funded it and that they were originally not going to go into Israel, that they were going to go into another African country first, but they couldn't get there.
Yep.
And then they chose, it was like Israel was their third pick. And I was like, okay, like they're not even like Israeli Jewish.
Yeah, they're not. They're the fake Khazars from the European. Yeah,
half the Zionists are Americans.
Yes,
and Christian.
Yes. So
it's not a religious thing. It's not an ethnicity thing.
No,
it is a political system and ideology.
Yes, it's a political ideology. 100%. That's the best way to put it.
If you say that, it's anti-Semitic.
Yes, it's
technically, according to the definition of what is given, saying that Zionism is a political association rather than a part of the religious structure of Israel is considered anti-Semitic, which is crazy.
Which is crazy because, again,
we could totally get banned just for having this conversation.
I know, but which is also crazy because if you do a little bit of diligence, you can find court cases and legal outcomes that say that Zionism is neither ethnic, it is neither religious in any of those categories. And so the default is it is a social political stance in documented legal cases. And so there's so much dissonance around what is a Zionist, and that nobody actually has a real definition. So if we were to TLDR it, in my opinion, Matt, a Zionist is simply someone who decides to take advantage of that political opportunity.
A giant.
They're a Zionist.
Giants.
Yeah.
Giantists.
They're a Zionist.
So someone was telling me that the in the Rothschild family shield and crest. In the middle, there is a hat and a red marker in front, signifying that they hide behind the Jews.
Oh, that sounds like Mossad.
That's crazy.
Because if you remember from a couple episodes ago, Mossad's slogan is, "Through deception, we shall wage war." I find that, I thought about that after our podcast, and man, Matt, that's a badass motto. It's a badass motto. Through deception, we will wage war. It's like, brother, you got to say less. I know exactly what you're up to,
I'm very anti-interest, actually.
Yes.
I think I get why interest is necessary for this capitalistic society that we live in. I understand that a lot of the innovation would not have happened if we didn't have the ability to leverage money.
Yes.
I understand that. But also knowing that because of interest, we've created a very large system of disparity between haves and have-nots, that people are drowning in debt and that you can never get out, that the poor are just getting poorer and poorer and poorer, and the richer are getting ridiculously richer. And if you removed the system of usury and charging of interest, that actually it would level the playing field a lot.
Yep.
And the way that they charge more, if you couldn't charge a higher interest rate to poor people, then the system would break down.
Yeah.
But the higher interest to poor people is what keeps people poor.
Yes.
The whole system sucks, but it's necessary in order to have this technological growth that we currently have.
So
I would rather sacrifice technology for a fairer life.
So your argument is sound until you bring up the idea of that it is a necessary requirement. I think we have lived in worlds and timelines where countries can get rich without it. We saw through even a period of American history. I forget what who the president was, but accordingly, Trump is following in the same footsteps as his previous president, who just went with tariffs and without taxes.
No, I understand that. But to have the scale and growth that we've had over the last 20, 30 years, it would not have been possible without the charging of interest.
I think most economists and industrial experts could probably look at that and say that that is a true statement, that the amount of scale of money that has been able to be leveraged so we can build quickly is true. Yes.
Because that allows a company that makes zero profit like Amazon, who took, I think, like 15 years to finally turn a profit, to leverage, borrow on future money. And then they're able to make a profit. But it took them a long ass time. If
But
they
they're
didn't have the
also
ability.
they're also subsidized heavily by taxpayers at the same time. So
That's my company.
So let's give two examples that are real and true. We saw Japan after the war rebuild without the Yuden Zionist help.
But they did loan money on interest.
It was minimal. Same with Korea. Korea rebuilt after the war with very minimal Zionist help.
Well, they did it with Japanese money. Same thing.
Well, Japanese money is not Zionist
And U.S. money.
It's not Zionist money. So the
Well,
point,
US money
the point
is.
I'm trying to make is there the potential that you can build a country and you can nation build and nation state build without Zionist Yuden, money? I think it's possible.
Well, okay. Japan rebuilt using U.S. money. Korea rebuilt using Japanese money and U.S. money. U.S. money is giant money. Therefore, ergo, they built with giant money.
He's truly the architect. Ergo.
Ergo.
Okay, we got a lot of super chats. Can we haggle on super chats? $2 is too high, says Rick and Patel. Rick and Patel, sorry, Sar. That's the price.
That's the price,
That's
bro.
the price, bro. Why are all the cabinet nominees saying that they aren't going after the past corruption? They're being burginers. Want Gitmo. Well, from what I understand, Israel, is that Trump is reopening Gitmo. 30,000 beds. Is that right?
Who are they going to send there? How do you know if they're sending the right people? How do you know that you don't end up there?
We probably don't want that Gitmo open because you might end up sleeping there, man.
Well, that's the thing.
For a
right?
stayover.
How do you know for sure who's going there and who's supposed to be there? And if you put in 20,000 people that are supposed to be there, and you put in 5 people that just want to get rid of, how do you know those 5 people didn't end up there? I don't know.
Peace, you're not wrong. I mean, apparently there are still individuals languishing in Gitmo without due process, which is frankly just wrong, period, full stop. Like, Aren't there like 9/11 guys that are still hanging out there like 20 years later?
I don't know. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh, he needs to go to the bathroom.
I gotta go. I don't know. I don't tell you. I gotta go.
I gotta solo tank this shit.
You gotta solo tank it for
All
like
right,
5
guys.
minutes. I gotta go to the restroom.
You guys, you thought you were stuck here. You thought I was stuck here with you. You guys are stuck here with me. So for the next 5 minutes, you get uninterrupted, Petey style. My heart goes out to Peter, says Kevin. Kevin Temple, my heart goes out to you too, my friend. This with the strongest amount of emotion through my laser eyes that I can give you. Actually, I don't think I did that with enough fervor. That's probably better. You'll appreciate that, Kevin. My brother, go on in peace. May you do well and be blessed. Brianna Wild says, everywhere these people go, they subvert. See the quote from Ulysses S. Grant. Well, there have been, as we well know, there have been plenty of noticers out there in the world. Certainly, I've been noticing even more. I've been noticing a lot of irregularities about the narrative versus what is actually happening in the world. And what we find is that if you dig a little bit deeper and you notice a little bit harder, you'll find that these are not only irregularities, but these irregularities have patterns attached to them. There's this number that's coming up in my mind. It's 109 countries. I don't know what this 109 countries mean, but from what I understand, there's an interesting species group that seems to be commonly displaced from countries after they are invited in, they are welcomed by their host country, and then they decide to promulgate and perpetuate hatred, dissonance, conflict amongst the peoples of the host nation. Now, this seems to be a common pattern in these individuals who have been kicked out of 109 countries. Now, what that common pattern is, I have no idea, because I'm merely a goyim who is regarded in many, many ways. And so little do I know about anything. Although all that I know is I see patterns everywhere, and those patterns are quite disconcerting. Let's put it that way. Super chat from Saul Felix says, is Asian pee-pee small? Brother, that's for me to know and you to wonder about. Philip says, species. Hey, just because I have a lip pillow in my mouth doesn't mean that I can always say species the right way. Will Bonehead says 109 countries? That sounds like a lot. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. All I know is that, let's just say, influential and famous people who are far smarter than me have noticed that this species group has been constantly kicked out of countries. For what reason? How would I know? Matthew, welcome back. I hope you had a good shit.
Thoughts on DeepSeek threat to U.S. tech? I think nothing. DeepSeek is, number one, it's open source. So you can run it on your own node. You can run it on your own computer if you'd like to. Mm-hmm. Number two, if anything, if you can do it cheaper, then like it'll encourage Americans to do it cheaper. I think it's just competition. I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's a big nothing burger, actually.
Can I give you mine?
Yes.
4 things. I did a video on this. Number 1, DeepSeek is great. Why? Because it showed that for an entire order of magnitude, it is cheaper to run these AI models than we thought. Huge. So, number 1, it's cheaper than we thought. Order of magnitude, by the way, because it's at $2.50 per million tokens on ChatGPT, whereas the DeepSeek was $0.27 dollars per million tokens, which means it is a factor of 9.7. If you round up, that's an entire order of magnitude differential, which means, on the other side, it's 10 times cheaper to run these things than we thought, which means there's bloat, which means the small businesses and the medium-sized businesses who are trying to build AI, it's going to be even cheaper to do it. And I think there could be an explosion on the second layer of applications now with this new revelation. So I think there's going to be an explosion in growth in AI, and this is only a good thing. More competition wins, baby. We have one from Anis who says, seriously, aren't you afraid of being canceled or having your bank accounts frozen? I hope not, but Matt, I'll let you take that.
So, fortunately, unfortunately, we understand the world of finance to a certain degree. And if they were to debank us, we would figure it out.
We would. I mean,
because there are alternative methods, although they are actively trying to shut them down, there are alternative methods throughout the world where you can survive. It's just not common, nor is it overly simplified to do so.
It's not convenient.
It's not convenient.
For sure.
But if we were forced to, we could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're hardy creatures. Remember, we're Korean, which means that we will survive at the end of days. It's just the nature of the beast. When the Armageddon happens, no matter where you are, guess what's going to happen 24 hours later? You're going to see a fucking Korean because they'll survive too. I mean, those rooftop Koreans, they're hardy guys. They're hardies.
Finally, a really based podcast that isn't afraid of speaking the truth, unlike PBD, who bent the knee to shout out to all my based Asians out there. PBD is, I really liked him in the beginning.
I did too. He was entertaining.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was like, he had interesting guests. It was pretty good. But then as we kind of rolled out into things like APAC becoming front and center in conversation, of a lot of people starting to notice. And he just became like this. He just wants to be a part of the system. That's just what it is.
He does.
It's not that he doesn't actually believe anything he says. I don't believe.
He does.
He just really wants to be a part of the system, and he will do and say whatever is necessary to be a part of the system. Because if people don't remember, he was one of the biggest advocates for Ron DeSantis early on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was part of the crew of people that tried to get Ron DeSantis elected.
Yeah.
Because he thought that, I'm in Florida, Ron DeSantis in Florida, maybe I'll have access.
Yep.
And then when that fell apart, he was like, I will do anything possible because maybe Trump will like notice me and recognize me. And because Trump is a huge like APAC guy, then for PBD, now huge APAC guy.
Yep.
And we all watched Vivek yesterday. I watched a clip of him on Aiden Ross, and people were like, ask about APAC.
Yeah.
He's like, well, APAC, they're like a pretty good pack. And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
this guy, man.
Well, look, it's unfortunate but true. Do not distinguish and eliminate those feelings of dissonance that you have when you watch these entertainers, you watch these influencers online. If the dissonance that you have in your gut is, why won't he just say it? Then you already know who his master is. Like you know why we can say what we say? Because we don't have any masters. We're also poor. so pick your poison, guys. Pick your poison. We are at liberty to speak freely about the Yuden and about the regarded, but at the same time, we also don't have any strings attached to our back pockets. So, I mean, you pick your poison,
Do y'all think we will go to war under Trump?
We better not, man. We better not. Like, that wasn't in the cards.
If we go to war, it will be with Iran. And if we go with Iran, because we've seen the signals that have been dropped to us over the last 12 months of that's the country we would go to war with, then I believe that it was planned. If he avoids war and we don't go to war, then it's just fine. It is what it is. I would prefer not to go to war.
Well,
I would not be surprised.
You have to say the thing, though. The thing is America going to war with Iran, or is it the Yuden that's going to war with Iran and needs us to be the financial backers of that initiative?
I mean,
that's the reality.
You see the alliances obviously being drawn. You have Israel and you have Saudi Arabia and you have the United States, which are all really closey. They do all types of trade and sharing of money and all of this. Trump loves both those guys, especially Saudi Arabia, who is doing a lot of backing of Israel these days. And then you've seen that they said, we're going to stop all foreign spending and all foreign aid for the next 90 days, except Israel and Egypt. Everyone got cut off except Israel and Egypt. Israel, fine. I get why they did that, because that's what they do. Egypt, they got to keep on funding Egypt because Egypt is saying, no, because they want Egypt to take all the Palestinians. They're like paying them to take them.
Yeah.
They want to remove them.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
that's been the MO since day one, brother.
it's messed up.
It's
really messed up.
Are you saying it's messed up to
really messed up.
kick people out of their homes?
And I think I relate to it more because I've been doing in the last 2 months, I've been doing a lot of reading and learning on Korean history. And in South Korea, I consider it an occupied nation. And it's pretty much a colony of the United States at this point because the United States government is there, the military is there, they control the border, and you can't actually do anything at scale without approval. It's like that. You gotta let countries be their own sovereign nation. That's the point of being a nation, is that you have sovereignty. And if someone else can tell your country what and how you can live your life, then you're controlled.
Oh, yeah.
United States, if you can't do, and United States military can't do or attack anyone without getting approval from another country, it's controlled.
Yeah.
You can't live controlled. Sovereignty means something in this world. Actually, it's the highest magnitude of order in this country, in the world, is that a nation has sovereignty. And any country that tries to take sovereignty away from said country is an oppressive nation.
I think your logic is sound. It almost sounds, if I can add some color to what you've just said, that a sovereign nation is a free nation. And if you have other hands in your pockets, if you have other nations controlling you, then you're not a free nation.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So are you saying, if I can recontextualize it, that Korea is not a free nation?
Is the United States a free nation?
I mean, it'd be nice if all of our congressmen would finally go over and stand up for Israel. Israel.
I was in D.C. and I was at the congressional offices. What, 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
And as you walk down the halls of Congress, like almost every single door has either Stand with Israel or Israeli flag on their door. There's more Israeli flags in the halls of Congress and their offices than there are American flags. I'm like, this is and there's like kids on tours and there's people walking around like, no one thinks this is weird. Everyone's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, we stand with them. I'm like, what? In the halls of Congress are more Israeli flags than American flags. Something is fundamentally wrong there.
So let me change the color of the narrative. Do you think people would be upset if it wasn't a Yudin flag, but if it was a Somali flag?
If there were 100 Chinese flags in Congress and at the congressional offices, people are like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, there's a lot of red and yellow going on here, right? But what you never hear is there's a lot of blue and white going on, right?
And I've heard
interesting.
I've heard people say this, and I've seen like videos and clips, and I'm like, all right, like it can't be that bad. But seeing it firsthand for myself, I'm like, holy shit.
So
this is crazy.
So what you're telling me is that as you walk through the halls of Congress, our holy, judicial branch that makes decisions and policies and laws so that we can be a nation that is rich and successful and growing in all ways, you're saying that when you walk the halls of that honorable area, is that all you see are Yudin flags, not American flags?
It's a lot.
That would be really disconcerting if it was a Chinese flag, wouldn't it?
If you are a person that notices, then it is so obvious. And it is extremely disturbing.
Disturbing is a good word to say.
If you are fully co-opted into the system, they walk around and they don't even notice.
With impunity.
Yeah, they don't even care.
They don't even care.
It's crazy.
Now, do you think their lack of caring is a function of how many dollars got put in their back pocket? Do you think that's what it is? I mean, the question you have to ask yourself is, how much do you need to get paid to not notice? Because we're paid zero and we're noticing a lot.
APAC Tracker is doing a phenomenal job.
Oh.
APAC Tracker lists how much money every single person has gotten.
Ooh.
And it's a lot of money. And they have Trump at 240 million. That's a big number, bro.
So, Matt, let me ask you this, Matt. Do you think we would get censored or demonetized if we did a weekly APAC rundown?
I don't know.
I wonder if we could do like sports betting on create our own
like
APAC.
The most like neutral like reporter style. Today, and here's the number.
Pelosi's up 17%
on the APAC Tracker.
Yeah. Schumer, he's up 21% on the APAC Tracker today, guys. He's crushing it. Which, by the way, Pelosi, she got out of NVIDIA right before the DeepSeek issue.
She's good.
What does she know that we don't?
Dude.
1 month, 30 days to the, if I remember, 30 days to the moment she got out of NVIDIA, 30 days right before this DeepSeek thing happened.
Politicians.
Man, she's good.
Politicians trading stocks. At least that's public.
They're throwing mud in your face when they're doing it.
The politicians who are going to get into the meme coin game is going to be crazy. Because they're going to use like multiple wallets, separated wallets, people they know, etc. And there's like not a lot of traceability there.
Yep.
And the politicians that do the meme coin game is going to be wild.
So there's money to be made, my friends, if you are truly a degen. Truly a degen. If extreme wealth concentration stalls money velocity, would a Nash equilibrium between policymakers and banks lead to perpetual liquidity trap, or could tokenized central bank access fix it without hyperinflation? I know exactly what you're talking about because I felt like I had a conversation with another investor about this just the other week, and the short answer is no. A tokenized central bank will not fix hyperinflation. Why? Because the controllers of the central bank and the money making and the fractional reserve banking is all led by immoral, unethical, and half-breed species of individuals who only care about multiplying abstractions of money and not about you, which means sin of humans will take over, friend. You have any sinful individual of a certain species type control the money supply, that we already know what generally happens because we have patterns of 109 countries of what happens when these individuals take over the money supply. You already know, sir, exactly how it's going to end.
He knew the answer before he asked the question.
He did. He was just being rhetorically obvious, Captain Obvious. Thank you, sir. Much love to you, my brother. Thoughts?
Are you gonna do that forever? By the way,
Yes, man.
your heart. Someone said, "Do you think?" Someone got really upset. Said, "Oh, you didn't answer my question." Something about U.S. attacking Mexico to go after the cartels. I don't think the U.S. ever attacks Mexico. It's like a border. There's nothing to gain there. There's no money to gain. It's very inconvenient. You have Mexicans all over the United States. It would create a huge problem. You'd have to figure out how to address all the people that are here domestically. It's not a real thing. I don't see any possibility of the United States attacking Mexico just to get cartels, because the United States, although they say they're going after the cartels, benefit greatly from the relationship with the cartels. Why would you go to war to take out cartels when you actually don't want to really remove them?
Yeah.
And the cartels in Mexico actually have value.
Yeah.
Because certain parts of Mexico in the mountainous areas where there is no safety, there are no public, they actually keep order in those areas.
Yeah.
So
And I can tell you from my experience, because I have a cousin who has lived in Mexico City for over 2 decades. I sent her there. Now, you might say, well, Peter, what do you mean? I went to Florida State over 2 decades ago. They have a great exchange program, and my younger cousin came to me and said, I want to learn about Mexico. Does Florida State have a great exchange program? And I said, no problem, baby. And I hooked her up. First year in, she did the exchange program. She loved Mexico so much. She married a Mexican down there, has 3 kids down there, has been living in Mexico City for over 2 decades now. And she will tell you that the cartels who run the city are better than the corrupt government. Why? Never forget what she told me. She said, with the government, you can't talk to them. With the cartels, you can. And so think about this.
you sound like a cartel sympathizer, by the way.
I am.
Oh,
I am.
oh.
The devil you know or the devil you don't. The devil you know or the devil you don't. She would tell you, you can negotiate with the local cartels. You can't negotiate with the corrupt government. So would you rather be run by someone who's like, you know what? I understand the game. Let's be at peace. No fuckery, right? Because the cartels know that you don't want to mess with the expats because they're money.
So
Right? And so no, I'm giving you the dirty truth. You cannot negotiate with the government, but you can negotiate with your local cartel members. They will do you a solid.
the biggest difference between a cartel that runs an area versus a government that runs an area is that anybody can negotiate with the cartel.
Yeah.
When the certain governments are in charge, only the elite can negotiate with the government.
Exactly.
Meaning that in some parts of the world, actually it's more free to have the ability to reach out and negotiate, is what you're saying.
100%. If she was on this show, she'd look you straight in the eye and say, that's been my experience for the last 2 decades, is at least the local cartels understand that you're an expat. You are money. They don't mess with the money, right? There's no need for fuckery there. But the government, she has no access to. So it's the devil you know.
Peter, Bitcoin or gold, and why?
Bitcoin, easily. So can you transfer $20 million of gold? Nope. Can it be taken from you? Yep. Can you transfer $20 million of real estate quickly? Nope. You can't do it. You live in New York. They create the taxes that make it worse for your real estate. You can't upend your $20 million apartment and move down to Atlanta. Not going to happen. But you know what you can do? You can move $20 million of Bitcoin very quickly. So at the end of the day, come hell or high water, you can put a gun to my head and say, give me all your money. Give me all your gold. Give me your real estate. And I'll say, yes, I'm asking, no problem. You can put a gun to my head and say, give me all your Bitcoin. And I say, fuck off. The only way you can access it is if you know what's my key phrase.
Or if we're an end of the world situation and every man for himself, and you need to trade and you need to have commerce and you need to figure out how to get supplies or trade for food or buy things that you need, your Bitcoin is literally worthless.
Yes, but then we'll be trading in 223 and 556.
Gold will always remain valuable to society because the entirety of society has determined that it has inherent value.
Fair enough.
And I tell everyone, if you really want to prep, if you want to be a prepper and you want to figure out how to survive in a potential zombie apocalypse type of situation, stack ammo.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Because ammo will always be tradable.
9mm and 223, 556 and matches.
Yep.
If you have matches, you have 223, 9mm, you're good. Get yourself a Colt M4 with some Israeli
In an end of the world
modifications.
situation, ammo will always have value.
I tell you, Magpul is one of the best. Those Israelis know how to make weapon systems.
But so will gold.
A little bit of gold is good, but yes.
And if you have no internet and you have no electricity,
Fair
if
enough.
they take down the grid, your Bitcoin is
Worthless.
dog shit.
Yeah, but your gold is also dog shit too, because you can't. It's so heavy. So you're really trading in food, rations, and 556 and 9mm. That's how it's going to be.
I'm gonna
And beef
shave
jerky.
it off.
And
Shave
beef
it off.
jerky.
Beef jerky.
Bro, beef jerky. Invest in lead, says salty refried beans.
Invest in lead. It always has value.
I'm a German American pureblood. Welcome to the show, friend. And the German government passed a new law that if I want German citizenship, I need to pass an anti-Semitism purity test.
Shut up. Seriously?
You lying, bro.
Is that
An
for everybody?
Anti-Semitism purity test.
Okay. Is that for all Germans?
No, just the purebloods.
Do all Germans have to take anti-Semitism test?
What does it even mean? You just say no to every question, a part of the questionnaire. Do you like, or just, do you hate these types of people? No. Are you going to say bad things? No. Are you going to say negative? No. Are you going to, that's all you have to do. Say no, 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 no. That's how you pass. Easy. All right? And then you go on,
Then they say, oh, but here's a tweet you put out and you lied on a federal application, so you are now denied.
Peter definitely can't become a German citizen.
No, they will clip every single one of these salutes, and they're like, no. Like, can you imagine?
What are you talking?
Peter trying to get
This guy's
a
name is
congressional
Marquis. We'll say Marquis. Marquis, because you're German American, that the Germans are waking up, and they would welcome me with open arms. They would love me.
No, it says,
The Austrian painter.
the German
wasn't
citizen
wrong.
test includes questions about anti-Semitism and the right of Israel to exist. The test-
Shut up.
The
It's
test
in
also,
the It's in the German test.
German.
So you have to
citizenship
say
test.
that
Yeah.
Israel has a right to exist
Yeah, the
to
test
pass
also
the
asks
exam.
applicants to commit to protecting Jewish life in Germany.
That's crazy.
Germany has been so cucked. Do you know how much Germany has been paying the Jewish nation in reparations over the last decades? You don't know this? You have to know.
No, I know they
You know
pay a
this.
lot.
Like most of you guys don't realize out there on the internet that Germany is literally today still paying reparations to the Juden. Why is the question? Why still is the question? Why are they still paying reparations? Because from what I understand, we've gone through multiple seasons where let's just say certain individuals in America are constantly asking for reparations, and we say no. But there's a precedent that's been set because Germany, Marquis, you've been sending them reparations for decades. So I don't know if there should be an anti-Semitism purity test because you guys have already paid for all of that and you're still paying for all of it. Maybe there should be an anti-Semitism purity test after you've stopped paying because there's a conflict of interest if you're still paying them and then you also have to take a test. You understand this, right? All right, that makes complete sense.
Memes Fen says gold is a worthless metal if the economy collapses, material assets retain value and increases. Shiny metal means nothing if you can't get a stable economy, food, guns, ammo, equipment. Gold is one of the exceptions because people always recognize gold. It's just been recognized for thousands of years. It's one of those things that...
My point is the scale. You
Yeah.
can't move $1 million worth of gold. It's
But
not
you
gonna
don't need $1 million and then...
Fair enough. Peace.
You know, you just need enough to like trade. And if no one has any, then like...
Yeah, and if you're real smart, you do what certain species do is they shave off the corners, of the gold so that they can get a little bit more of that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and they add in a little bit of, like...
You're sounding Udanish.
Oh, well, I know. There's a pattern here, I think. A pattern. Invest in lead. We already went over that. Gold is worthless. Shiny metal. We already went over that. I love your work. Invite you both to Islam. Oh, Tiki is trying to convert us, guys.
To convert us.
So let's listen. Let's pay respect. I love your work and invite you both to Islam. We love Jesus and Moses as prophets of the one true God, and he begets not, nor is begotten. Luke 4:8, Quran 2:283. Well, bless you, sir. I appreciate your love for us.
Appreciate the invite. I'm good where I'm at. Although I do have actually a high respect for Muslims.
Why?
I think it's personal experience. I've actually had very positive experiences with Muslim people in my life.
Tell me more.
When I was in college, my neighbors were the Muslim Student Association. So, they were super polite. They were always respectful. They never ratted on us for being out of control. They were always great. And I remember I was like in a car or something, and a friend of mine, we were going somewhere. He called a driver, whatever. And we went far. And I think it was like 5 a.m. and it was during Ramadan. And the sun had not been up yet. And we were like going through a McDonald's in order to get like some McDonald's breakfast. The sun it was like 5 a.m. The sun wasn't up yet. He could technically eat. He's like, no, like my regimen is this. I had my last meal at 4 a.m. or whatever it is, and I'm not gonna eat till the sun goes down again. He could have like taken kind of a gray area there, but he chose not to. And I thought that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like the Muslims I've met really believe in what they... I don't believe in what you believe, but the ones I've met really believe in what they believe. And I like people that have some sort of integrity and if they have a belief, you stick and adhere to your belief. I think that is extremely respectable.
I think the word that comes to mind for me is that you respect and appreciate men and women who have conviction.
Correct.
So even if we don't agree,
Yes.
at least we know that you're living a principle and value-focused life, right? Like the right values and purposes, right? Is the whole idea is that you live by principles and values, and you are committed to them and convicted to them, even though we may disagree, is far more respectable than someone who has no morals and ethics and no grounding, is what you're saying.
Correct. Okay. I am really big on integrity, character, and morality.
Yeah.
And people who have shown me that they are trustworthy, I trust them. And people that are kind of shady all the time, like if you lie to me, I just can't take you seriously. I don't want you in my universe.
I'm with you.
So, yeah. Thanks for the invite. I think we're good.
Well, Tiki,
but we do understand.
Thanks for the invite, and I'll share real quick. I mean, I have appreciated the Muslims and the ones who follow Islam in my life. They've generally been respectful and are kind of a live and let live type of culture. Like they let you do you. You do you, I do me, we good, right? And so I've never had any negative run-in. I will say this, though, that I have read interesting quotes, my friend. Interesting quotes from, let's just say, the Yudin, who influencers and famous people of the Yudin species. And if I remember correctly, these quotes go something to the effect of, if Muslims and Christians finally understood, then the Yudin would be in big trouble. Like if the Muslims and followers of Islam finally reconciled with Christians, then the Yudin would be in big trouble because there's so much more in common with Islam and Christianity than certainly the Talmud. So, my brother in arms, keep working the good fight, my friend. We have an enemy at the gate.
And there are a lot of Muslims that are converting to Christianity. That's a big movement.
And also vice versa. I've seen that too.
It's true.
It's true. Like
It's true.
I won't lie about it. I've seen a lot of people that are converting to Islam. True.
I think there are, Islamic extremists out there, of course.
Well, yeah, there's this Christian extremist too.
But there are Christian extremists, there are Jewish extremists, there are every type of extremist. And I think Muslims sometimes get a unfair shake because of the few.
Well, can I go farther? I think Muslims get the almost a worse shake than Christians. And you might say, well, Peter, Christians are always shat upon in the public sphere. Yes, you are correct. In the public and social sphere, if you're looking at the influencers on the mainstream media, they're always taking a dump on Christians. However, unfairly so, especially since 9/11, since we've realized the realities of this, is that, can I give you a conceit? When 9/11 happened, I truly had a moment. 20 years ago, I truly had a moment where I was like, maybe these people of Islam are really bad.
Of course.
Like peace, fair. Like 20 years ago, I had these moments. But we've come to realize that actually, none of them were actually Islamic, and they were actually more of the Judean species. And so I think the Islam and the Muslims of America have been dragged through the mud over the last 2 decades since 9/11, unfairly so. And I wonder if Muslims in America are finally waking up and realizing this, because they might realize that the Christians are actually their best friend when it comes to a common enemy.
And the Christians are pretty split. Like I'm a Christian.
We talked about this before.
But
Christians are the stupidest.
It's so split, and some of the largest evangelical denominations are like completely Israel first. And they go by this idea that, in the Bible it says that, God's going to save Israel and all of this. But you can't define Israel.
Yep.
So then you get stuck in this
logic loop.
And they don't want you to talk about it. Asking that question, they get really offended. And it's like talking to someone about like, what is a woman?
But let's get to base principles. If we cannot agree on the foundational idea, then track with me. If we cannot agree on the foundational idea, why would you continue to send money to something that is fuzzy? Like, no one wakes up and says, oh man, I saw this a really amazing commercial about feeding cats because there's so many that are dying.
They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
Right? I'm going to... Actually, I don't really believe in that because it's a little fuzzy and I don't really know what determines a cat, but I'm still going to give them my money. That's what Christians do. Christians are like, don't talk about the Judeo-Christian stuff. It's too much for me. We're still going to give them lots of our tithes, though. Come on, bro, wake up. You don't give your money to a fuzzy idea. You should give your money to an informed idea. Actually, if I could go even farther and more aggressive, you probably shouldn't give money to anybody. You should probably just keep your money and work on your family and work on your life. I find it fascinating, my friends, how many people, let's just get down to brass tacks. I'm talking to you guys out there. How many people out there want to spend their time trying to support and trying to promote and sending your money and all of your eternal time that you're never going to get back to helping other people in other countries? Like, great idea. However, here's the problem. Your house is a wreck. Your home is a mess. Your lifestyle sucks. You're not healthy. You're fat, right?
Thanks, Vivek.
You're terrible, right? You're not productive. And yet you want to clean up Palestine? You want to clean up Ukraine? You want to clean up all these other countries? Your home is a mess. Fix your shit. Let's go, what was it, Jordan Peterson? Make your fucking bed. Start there. Make your bed, and then you can worry about everybody else. How's that?
Can you scroll up the Rumble chat real quick? Postscript says $1 million of gold can fit inside a toaster.
Oh, great. Go do that. Fuck off. When the zombie,
I want a gold toaster.
When the zombie apocalypse comes, I'll have lots of 5.52, 223, lots of 9mm, and you're telling me you got gold? Guess where I'm stopping by on my way to Kroger?
Have both. Have both. Have both. We believe we believe in diversification of assets.
Yes. 223, 5.56, 9mm, and a little bit of 40, 45 will be fine. You'll be fine. Trust me.
I did get a Beretta CX-9, which is kind of a gay assault rifle, but it's 9mm.
Yeah.
The premise is
kind of
that
gay. But you didn't go full bore, man. You should have gone full.
I do, but I have that also.
Oh, okay. Gay.
Well, the idea is that if you're in a really bad situation and you have 9mm rounds everywhere, You don't want to go, oh, like, hold on, this is 9mm. Hold on, let me find that 223. Right? Like having a armory of weapons that use one type of ammo is actually advantageous in really bad situations.
I understand
Which
your
is
point.
why.
Right.
Yeah.
Single point of failure instead of double.
Correct.
Okay.
Because you can use Beretta clips that go inside of that.
That's true. Or you could be like me and go to
Handgun
bulkammo.com and buy 15,000 rounds of 223
Not
556. Not a shill. And then you can also go to bulkammo.com and buy 10,000 rounds of 9mm for the uber cheaps right now.
Yeah, it said someone said 9mm rifle. It says it's not an assault rifle. Come on, Matt. I get it. Is there any crypto you have investments in? Maybe XRP? Could you do a podcast on investing, like Roth or Financial Freedom? Praise Jesus.
Well, I mean,
we will eventually have some of the crypto guys come on, but we try not to. I'm not going to bring on any of the kind of crypto shill bros because everyone just comes in and wants to show their project. Yeah. But I think if we bring in guys that are actually working on projects, we may have Mew on, something that we're working on.
Yeah.
So Mew is the guy that started Jupiter. Obviously, with all the meme coins on, having Mew on may be interesting. So people like this, I think, is more interesting rather than people that are just going to tell you what to invest in, because it ends up being just a shill fest.
For sure. And I mean, I don't know if everybody out there in the crowd knows, but I'm in OG in the Bitcoin space, and you don't hear a lot of it from me because I've been through the entire round since 2011. So I've been through the shitcoin casino. I've been through the meme coins in the early 2016s, got my ass wiped really well. And you kind of learn. And I'm only Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining now, and that's just the short end of the answer. So I will probably never be an exciting Bitcoiner in terms of, socializing. I went through that phase in 2016 to 18. So now I'm just talking with this guy and ensuring that my bank account will get shut off every time I say regarded and the small hats. So I'm choosing to be poor, guys. That's how it's working out.
Someone said investment advice for someone making under 100K. I think that is something we could possibly do. I think that we live in a day and age where if there's anything that you're interested in, passionate about, if you just spent 4 hours a day for a year learning about that, you can actually make money doing it.
Yeah.
And you just have to put in the time. That's all it is.
You got it.
If you turned off Netflix, if you turned off sports, if you turned off going to the bar, if you turned off going to the restaurant for just 1 year, it's not a huge sacrifice, 1 year. And you spent 4 hours every single day learning about whatever that you're most interested in, spend that 4 hours to invest in that, just in knowledge and understanding, you can make money doing that thing that you enjoy and you like.
Yes.
And eventually you can make enough money where you can replace what you currently do that you don't like.
Yes.
It's just sacrifice. You have to go through a sacrifice. It took us 2 years to get this thing to where it is.
Exactly.
And we made zero money for 2 years.
And
spent a ridiculous amount of money just to get it set up and going.
That's what I was about to say. Like we
are not at break even.
No, sir. And we're also, if I can say in humility here, we're still fighting the overlords. Like we've been chopped at the knees. Right? We've been chopped at the knees. After 100K, they were like, these guys are getting too prolific here.
Doesn't even matter because we have so many people hanging out with us, so many people engage with us,
so smash the like
so
button.
many people being very supportive of us. So it just proves, if you just spend your time doing something that you actually like, and you don't have to like give up everything to do that. But if you spend 4 hours a day doing something that you want to do, and investing that time to do it and get better at it, understand it better, like you can actually make money in anything these. That's the power of technology right now.
And that's the power also of persistence and dedication over a long period of time.
Yes.
If I can add any qualification to that, I would say Matt is absolutely correct. You do not need to pay thousands of dollars to these programs that say, here's how you're going to make money. The short answer is choose something, do it for a long time, and you will improve on it, and you will make money. There is a reason why a venture investment entity is a 10-year run. Like you have to shut down your investment entity after 10 years. And I think that was a good decision by the regulatory entities because they also realize that it's going to take you about 10 years to be profitable in any endeavor. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what am I going to do for the next 10 years and not quit? If you do that thing for the next 10 years, I promise you, you will make over 100K in that thing. You'll be not only prolific and proficient, but you might actually become an expert in it, which means after 10 years, you can make exceptional money being an expert in that one particular domain. It's not hard. The question is are you willing to burn for 10 years to do it?
With technology, you can
Go even faster, probably.
you can go much faster.
Yeah. So would it be unrealistic for me as a venture capitalist to look at what we've done over 2 years and say, you guys are tracking appropriately? I would say, perfect. 2 years, you finally got traction. You are right on track. And frankly, don't quit. Keep going.
No choice.
No choice.
I am at a place of past the point of no return.
He's jumped off the cliff, and we're building the plane in the air, guys.
like
We're
if I
building the
said,
plane in the air.
I'm shutting down the podcast. I'm shutting down all the content. If I said that and I said, hey, I'm going to go get a job, so no one's going to hire me. They're like, dude, you said way too many things. I can't hire you.
They're gonna be like, hey, we got this new applicant. His resume looks pretty good. Let's do an extra search. Matt Kim.
Yeah, I am way past the point of no return at this point. There's no going back. Oh, maybe someone will give me a job. Maybe I'll go work at a bank. You're right. You know what I mean?
And Frank, actually, can we have a moment of silence for everybody out there for just a little bit of respect of what Matt and myself, by the way, have given up to speak freely? Like, Matt and I, no shit, can no longer get a corporate job.
No, never.
We have disqualified ourselves. It is never that HR is going to look at us and say, "Fuck this guy."
I could probably never get a corporate job, and I can probably never get confirmed as anything within the United States government.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no. Confirmed, bro.
Yeah, I'm way past both those things.
Burned before you even begin.
So like anything in the realm of what I know, I can't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, way past the point of no return here.
Hey, we're doing it. We're doing it for you guys. We're doing it for you guys. We're doing it for the love. What about Ashton Forbes and his MH30 research? I'm fully convinced the facts he presented. In fact, Trump needs to declassify those files. Well, AI is a great place to work. Well, guess what? Matt has interviewed him multiple times.
Ashton Forbes is a good friend,
Yes.
good friend of ours.
He's in our community too, by the way.
Yeah, he actually hangs out in the Discord.
You
So
can
if you guys are in
ask him
Discord-
directly.
Yeah, you can find him in the Discord. He does hang out or come around every once in a while, and every once in a while he'll come hang out in a stream. So Ashton Forbes is a friend of the show. We really appreciate what he does. I genuinely believe that he believes what he says is real. Not Israel, is real.
Yes. Yes. And
Yes.
and
How weird.
and if I can go farther, he actually, based on the conversation he had with you, Matt, he actually convinced me that we probably have that type of technology.
Yeah, I believe him. I understand that it is a concept that is so difficult for people to understand, but we will eventually have him back on. We've discussed if we should do it remote or if he'll come in physically and maybe we'll do something in person. So we've never met in person. We've only kind of FaceTimed and chatted and texted and whatever else. But we'll eventually have him back on. I am a huge fan of Ashton. I really like him. So again, and he's in our Discord. So if you have MH370 questions, if you throw it out there, I'm sure he'll see one day.
Check him out.
And he'll respond.
It has been a pleasure to hear a discussion on certain topics others are too afraid to talk about. Cough, cough. Are you afraid that you'll be removed from the platform for having bravery to discuss these important issues? Brett, Matt, would you consider what we're saying as brave, or is this just kind of what we do?
I think it's actually necessary.
Ooh, tell me more.
I think that you have to have tough discussions. I think that you have to have the discussions that you're having at home publicly, because if you don't have them publicly, then the world doesn't know that people are thinking it. You can't improve society if the best ideas are hidden away. You have to have these, otherwise the other narrative wins. The only way to combat the narrative is also to have the opposite side, whether it's right or wrong. There has to be some sort of balance. I believe in balance. There has to be balance in the world.
The yin and the yang.
If someone is super left or someone's super controlling or someone is super like dystopian future new world order, like you have to have the people on the opposite side going, no, like I don't want any of it.
So
like Ted Kaczynski is like actually kind of necessary.
I was about to go there. So what you're saying is
You need these people.
a Nick Fuentes is necessary,
It's necessary.
and Alex Jones is necessary.
I mean, he's so controlled.
He's part of the apparatus. Understood.
But you need people on both sides to have a voice and ability to get their voice out there, because otherwise you don't ever find out, number one, what the truth is. Number two, you actually don't ever improve as a society, and you get molded into one dystopian view of a world where actually that doesn't represent what the entirety of the world wants. There has to be some sort of balance.
So let me ask you a question, extrapolating on this. We have a brother in arms, a fellow rooftop Korean, who goes hard, who tends to use inflammatory language. Now, the question is simply this: if we are all part of the body of Christ, if we are all part of the body of God, the church, let's put it that way, then is aggressive Nick Fuentes / Arthur, / whoever, are they a necessary part of the body? Do they have a purpose, is I guess another way to look at it.
I think because we have so many extremists on one side, you need to balance it with some extremists on the other.
That right?
I think so.
Because
I like balance.
Fair enough.
I like order.
Fair enough. I think there are some that would argue vehemently on the other side of that and say, no, Matt, we should not fight fire with fire. We should fight fire with love and peace and less aggressive and egregious and inflammatory language would be the argument for that. So what would you say to those individuals who are saying, Matt, those individuals cannot be the body of Christ. They cannot be part of what we're doing because they are fighting fire with fire and using inflammatory language. What would you say to them?
I don't think the language is the hard part. It's just a matter of opposing ideas. I think just because one person, people speak all in different ways and manners. And people often forget that even Jesus, he was not this, I love everyone and like I'm just going to accept everything around him type of guy. He was critical of the Pharisees. He was critical of hypocrites. He was critical of people that, that didn't believe something. And he was accepting of people that may have been considered deplorable.
Yes, for sure.
So there's a balance there. Just because people say, a lot of Christians say, you got to be like Christ. And therefore that means I just got to love everyone and be like accepting of everyone. No, like actually Christ did not do that.
He's kind of a warrior.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with calling out the bullshit when you see the bullshit. Nothing wrong with calling out the hypocrites when you see hypocrites. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
And it's almost necessary. That's what I believe.
So I appreciate the comments, guys. There are many people who are useful for the economy of God. Opinion on IBIT ETF. I know it's not Bitcoin, strays away from the core concept of what BTC is, but as an investment store of fiat value, considering fiat isn't going anywhere in the 100 years. SAR, says NJ Don 89.
Gotta respond to the SAR.
Gotta respond to the SAR. The short answer is the financial engineers of Wall Street are going to do financial engineering stuff, which means what we find now in the stock market is you no longer actually own the underlying asset. You buy an abstraction of a pink slip of the underlying asset. That's what an ETF is, right? It's an exchange trade, right? It's commoditized abstraction. That's why you have ETFs. So that's why you have ETPs. You guys know about this. And so let's go to Bitcoin. Will the financial engineers create abstractions away from the underlying core asset? Of course, brother. They need to hypothecate more value so that they can make more money off of what you're putting in. So the short answer is, do you want to play the game and make more money and diversify? Probably. So you should probably invest a little bit in IBIT, not financial advice, but the core Bitcoin's probably the better decision.
I do not like this version of Bitcoin. I like the idea of having a decentralized currency where people cannot control, where you can have commerce with who you want to, be able to send money as you want, and have an opportunity to use a cryptocurrency as a replacement for the US dollar. That was the promise of Bitcoin. That was the purpose of Bitcoin. That's why the original people that got involved in Bitcoin.
Yep.
And now it's a speculative game where the banks control and the government controls, and everyone treats it like the store of value, which is not what it was supposed to be. And I get it, people are making money. However, by using it as a store of value rather than a currency, what we are doing is we are giving the government control of our currency.
Yes.
And by normalizing the idea, and Trump creating this meme coin and normalizing the idea of speculative gambling on meme coins, what he did was put a nail in the coffin of potentially having a actual usable, tradable cryptocurrency for commerce. So what he did was,
number one, fighting words, Matt.
What he did was, he solidified the US dollar, he solidified the value of the Fed, made sure that no one can escape the dollar, which is great on the side of America. However, we know that the US dollar is broken, we know that the Fed is broken, we know that they manipulate the currency at our demise, at their benefit, and they've just made their stronghold in that apparatus stronger. So if anyone was hoping, we want cryptocurrency because we want to be able to be a decentralized future and not let the people control our way of life, the Trump meme coin killed that dream.
That's some fighting words. So clearly you can see the differential here. I'm focused just on the financial opportunity. Matthew is focusing on the philosophical considerations of this. So yes, any abstraction away from Bitcoin is diluting the core asset. That's kind of how it works. But that's how you make money, by rehypothecating things that have nothing. Is what it is.
Again,
Welcome to
Bitcoin was
welcome
not
to
supposed to be an
usury.
asset. It was supposed to be a currency.
Welcome to usury 101, right? Hypothecating value out of nothing. Like that's how it works.
Breaking news from Jackson GPT. Breaking news. Brr, 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 brr. Everything a bit worse than yesterday. No lies detected.
No lies detected, friend. Thanks for bringing us one notch down.
I am very cognizant of the fact that at any given day we can be taken offline.
Oh, bro, we crossed this bridge.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, we're
on
way past that.
We're on borrowed time, friends.
I do
Don't be
understand that
deceived.
that's a possibility, and
Yeah.
eventually we will create a platform and a community space that's outside the system that people can eventually gather. It's something that's kind of not been working on, but working on. We have a lot of friends in the decentralized tech world. We have a lot of friends that are in the decentralized media world, and it's just a matter of time before one of these guys really figures it out. So we're letting the programmers and the coders do their thing. They are more in the libertarian, get away from the system type of mindset.
Yeah.
So not for profit or not for their personal gain, but they believe that this is necessary in the world. I want to support someone that believes that. And I feel like that is something that will eventually happen. We will eventually move our streams to whatever platform that is, and we will be more free, we'll be more open, it will be decentralized, or at least the servers wouldn't be in a place where they cannot be removed.
Let me ask you this, because I read an interesting article a couple weeks ago and this person was making a case for the demise of YouTube, that we've jumped the shark. We've hit commoditization at mass, even though there's a lot of, YouTube is the primary mechanism in which most people drop their content. He came in with some very interesting data points of how the overall YouTube is going to be essentially replaced at some level. So here's my question to you, Matt. What do you think? Are we going to find a better version of YouTube?
No. YouTube's going to be the best for a long time.
You think it's too large?
It's too large. It covers the entire world. There are too many people on it on any given day, and you can upload something, and you can reach pretty much the entire world. Rumble, as much as we love Rumble, it is 20 million, 30 million Americans in America.
Yeah.
That's the limit. That's the maximum reach you can have. And people say, well, 30 million people is a lot of people. It is a lot of people. But amongst that, there's only a small sliver of the population that actually care about what you say, what I say, what we say. So Google has like 6 billion people in their ecosystem.
You got it.
And that's going to be a very tough thing for someone to eventually catch up on. They had first movers advantage, and they got so far ahead. And because they have so many people, they have all the advertising. And the advertising is what funds a lot of creators to go.
Yeah.
So you can grow your community on YouTube and then take them somewhere else, but your YouTube will still grow faster than your community.
It's almost an unfortunate default.
Economies of scale. It is what it is. And I wish it weren't that way because YouTube is really tough to work with.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're fighting the belly of the beast right now, man. They keep taking our shit down. It's terrible.
YouTube will never be completely free speech. It's impossible. It's too big of an organism at this point.
So we've heard people talk to Elon. Just have Elon buy it up. Do you think that would be a solution?
I don't think he can afford it, to be honest.
Oh, fair
and they would never sell it.
Yeah.
Why would Google sell YouTube? It's like a cash cow for them.
Robert says, I've been noticing a lot of black people have been moved. I've seen that too. I've seen a lot of the kind of I'm not in that world, but I've seen enough where it's like, whoa, I guess more of the black influencers are moving over there. Apparently they're realizing that too.
Yeah, people, we love Rumble. Rumble has always been great to us. We love being there, and we appreciate the people. But Rumble lacks the discoverability of YouTube. Because it's just, again, it's a scale issue.
Yeah.
You have 20 million or 30 million people on Rumble, and you have 8 billion people or 6 billion people on YouTube. it's the numbers. I mean, it's not the same game, you know, and that's tough. If we had 500,000 people watching us regularly on YouTube, we're just gonna move everyone to Rumble. That makes sense. Yeah. But if you're in this growth stage where you're trying to figure out and gather up more momentum, it's really hard to do there. Agreed. It is what it is, you know. No knock on Rumble whatsoever. Again, I love Rumble.
Rumble's been good to us.
Oh, they've been phenomenal to us.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the episodes, Matt is interviewed with the CEO of Rumble multiple times on multiple different channels, like Luke, right?
Yeah.
We Are Changed. That was fun. That was a fun one.
Rumble, BitChute, they aren't as clean and polished. Yeah, it's not easy to run a forward-facing technology with so many moving pieces.
And I don't think Rumble expected to blow up the way they did.
No, they did not.
They were totally unprepared for the deluge of individuals who are like, holy cow, this is another option.
And once you start building, and you didn't plan for the scale, so you build a certain way, and then you scale, it's like, okay, I got to go in and revise, but you can't shut it down to rebuild the whole thing from scratch. So you're just constantly patchworking fixes in order to make it work. And it creates a big thing. If you're Google and you have unlimited money to fix your YouTube runs flawlessly.
And clearly, I am still the bad guy. Which, by the way, this bad guy has to go pee.
You do.
Yes. And I will not be returning.
Are you done? Say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. I gotta go pee. And so I also have meetings. Thank you, guys.
You're gonna go fall in the toilet. What percentage of Korean Americans are Christian? I'm going to say 50%, 40%? Maybe 50, 40%. I think 30% of Koreans are Christian. And then in the United States, it may skew a little bit higher. And I think that's because when Koreans come from Korea, they find community in the church. So a lot of people get involved in the church. So that's why you would see a higher percentage in the United States than you do in Korea. Yeah, that's what I think. Where do you come up with the ideas for the podcast? It's literally whatever I'm thinking about, maybe the day or 2 days before. So if I'm reading or I'm thinking about whatever, I'll tell Peter maybe the night before or sometimes the morning of, hey, this is what I've been thinking about. This is what we're going to do a podcast on. And that's what we do a podcast on.
Matt is always scrounging through the internet, going down rabbit holes on these nights. And he comes into the office telling me about new stuff every day.
Yeah, it's whatever I think about at the moment and whatever I find is interesting. If I start reading about something and I find a rabbit hole that I really enjoy, then you will surely find the most bitter towards you to be the Jews and polytheists and most loving to be those who call themselves Christian. I feel like I need to read the Quran one day. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm sure it's interesting.
Can't wait for your private platform, guys. I will join this club for sure. Better than Freemasons, yes. Yeah, we're gonna have a platform. I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like yet. We've thrown around a lot of different ideas. It would be some sort of streaming. The functionality would have streaming and video. It would have a chat. I like the idea of, okay, how come you can't have a friends list in the chat?
I don't know.
That'd be a pretty good idea, wouldn't it?
It'd be awesome.
Because the idea is this. If someone gives you 4 tickets to a baseball game and none of your friends can go, do you go to the game?
Probably not.
Most people will not go to the game, even though they want to go to the game,
unless you're
because
diehard
they have
fan.
Yeah, I mean, a minority will. Most people will not go to the game because they have 3 unused tickets. I don't know why. But that's how human psychology works. Okay. If someone invites you to a game and you find out your friends are going, but you have 0 interest in baseball, but 3 of your other friends are going, you will go hang out to watch that game, even though you have 0 interest in baseball. Because the reality is that most entertainment and consumption, you do it because your friends are there, because you want to do it as a community. And although it's great that we have a chat and people start to recognize each other, what if you could start marking in the chat, like, oh, I like this guy, this is my friend. And therefore, people start watching content together because your friends are there together. And you start having conversation about the topic, whatever you're watching, together because you're all there. I think that would bring communities of people to watch certain content together. I think that's a really interesting idea. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that
I think
having a
someone's gonna
friends
steal
list.
your idea.
Yeah, I think having a friends list in a chat is actually a really good idea.
Who's John Mearsheimer? Mearsheimer?
Larry Fink. And I think we have to have Larry Fink's grandson on.
Yeah, you've already talked to him, right?
Yeah, I've spoken to him. What's his name?
forget.
Mark. Beauty Mark on TikTok. Beauty Mark on TikTok. I've been talking to Mark, who is Larry Fink's grandson, who is super based. I think we will have Larry Fink's grandson, Mark, on the pod sometime in the near future. I've been talking to him. Talk about flat Earth. Dude, there's nothing more polarizing and gets you mad than talk about flat Earth. Because
Man.
I tried.
You guys should have mentioned that when Peter was here. He has a lot to say.
I tried having a flat Earth conversation. I'm not a flat earther, but I think the premise of it is really interesting. I think it's fun to think about. I think a lot of things that are extreme are fun to think about. And I tried to have a casual conversation about flat Earth, and people started sending me messages saying that you can't do this, that you can't do this. If you start talking about flat Earth, I'm out here. Like, why? Why is flat Earth so polarizing? Why do people get so mad at talk about flat Earth? If you believe it or you don't believe it, it's not going to change the world. Why can't you just think about it? I don't know. And then all of a sudden the flat earther's like, no, it's flat. Stop being crazy. The round earth is like, dude, we had this conversation and Peter and Will were in the room while we were having the conversation. And all of a sudden I have a whiteboard out in the next room. They were at the whiteboard making diagrams and drawings, trying to prove their point to each other. And they were so mad. And I was like, oh, this is what flat earth does to people. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. We should have the interview with Dr. Peter McCullough. We did do an interview with Dr. Peter McCullough, and that was pretty interesting. His interview should be live in the next hour or 2 hours. So definitely go check that out when it goes up. And other than that, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for your support. Join the Discord. Come hang out and keep your notifications on. And if you guys like the streaming and you like us streaming, then it's something we can do more. It's something that we used to do in the past. We haven't done it in months, but we can get back into it. I enjoy it. I enjoy engaging with you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. See you guys probably in a few days.